Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What's up everybody, my name is Ashley Tabese. I'm back again with another one. Thank you guys so much for pulling up on the last episode. It was great. I love the fact that, a lot of people pulled up, a lot of people were telling me how they felt, a lot of people were telling me how happy they were I was actually starting this, which is pretty awesome. This week I've got something a little bit nice for you. I went to attend this event called the Dublin Parade. I didn't know what that was. Like it's a parade for homosexuals, gays, the LGBTQ plus community. They come together every year here in Dublin, and they voice out their frustrations and celebrate the wins that they have. Let me give you a little bit of a history lesson. I got to study a bit about this whole subject, just a little bit. So this started around the 1970s in Dublin, where obviously, back in the days, being gay was a taboo. It still is a taboo to so many countries. It's still like a crime. You sometimes you die for being gay. Actually, so that was the situation here in Ireland for quite a while. And then around 1970s at Trinity College, some students who were studying in Trinity College felt the need to voice out their frustrations, so people to stop telling them what to do with their body and stuff like that. And then later around 1980s or something like that, I think in 1983, a guy named Declan Finn, an Irish gay man, was murdered in a park, and they after a while they got the murderers, and then they jailed them, and then in 1983 they were released. These murderers were released, and that, in the gay community, that was, struck such a nerve. And then people started fighting that. They started organizing really organized parades to tell people how they feel, to protest and appeal basically to the city on, please guys, see us as other human beings, because honestly I feel like it really is unfair, to take a group of people and insult them for the way they feel about using their body and stuff like that. And another thing, I'm a Muslim. Islam teaches us something. It says, whenever you meet somebody, despite of any differences, the first thing that you have to do is to give respect. That's the first thing. It doesn't matter whether they are people that don't believe in the same stuff that we believe in, people that are doing other things. First thing first is maintain respect. You respect the person. In order with you showing respect to them, that might enable them to want to try and be like you. If you're gonna be a person that goes around and telling gay people how to wear and how to do things like that, then that's not respect, because you're not respecting them. And killing them, well, come on, we spoke about respect. Killing them is just way off the level. Anyways, that's the whole story, basically. That's the whole story. That's how basically the Dublin Pride Parade started. They started, organizing marches to walk from probably maybe a kilometer long distance, not even a kilometer long, more than that, for people, with banners, with everything, just to voice out their frustrations and to appeal to the legal system to see them as other people, So basically, like I said, I went to the parade, to the Pride Parade, because man, like whenever there's a big event happening, there's gonna be one thing that's gonna be there. There's gonna be like specials on food, specials on clothes. I mean, I got this deal out here. I look like I work for Toyota now. I don't, but I know it looks good, right? It's a whole onesie, and I got it for like a good price, and I hope it's the only one in the city so that everybody who sees me is like, oh, we know the Toyota boy. Otherwise, yeah, we went there. It was pretty awesome. The city was buzzing, and it's so beautiful to see how different people would come together in order to support, in order to be there and show support for the minority, because right now homosexuals are minority. Well, not homosexuals alone, just like the whole LGBTQ plus gang. There's a lot. I don't know all the letters. Everybody keeps on saying so. I'm being a cliche right now, but yeah. So yeah, we went there and we cruised around the town. The cops were there, politicians were there, companies that people of the LGBTQ communities work for, and this could be any company. This could be Google, this could be Oracle, this could be Sprite, Fanta, Coca-Cola, because these are people that we live with in our daily lives. So those companies that these people work for were there also showing support. They had organized dances. Everything. It was just the whole total vibe. And then after that, also, I'm going to be traveling again. You know what it is? Boom, 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 boom. That's also one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is, essentially just traveling, and just like the same thing of me going from where I live, which is Castle Blaney. It's actually 2 hours away from town, which is quite a distance, for someone like me. Well, I travel a lot, so it's not that, but it is a distance because this is the city center where most of the time you have to be there, and if that's 2 hours away, it is a distance, and I got up in the morning and I was like already late to catch the bus. Caught the bus, and yeah, I got there. So as I said, I wanted to speak to you guys about traveling. One of those things I want to speak about basically is how to get ready for traveling, and I'm making this video so that it becomes a reminder to myself when I'm actually traveling. I'm going to be going to Warsaw, which is in Poland. I'm accompanying my mom for a conference. She has a conference that side, and I thought I'm just gonna take along since I actually have the visa. So basically, number one, when you're traveling, you always need those documents, guys. Nobody can stress this enough, because that's like number one goal of traveling. Always have your travel documents ready. And if you're traveling locally, obviously, if you're gonna take a bus or even a flight, if you're gonna take a flight or a bus, you know that you need your ID to get in there most of the times. Sometimes they don't, but if you go into the airports, I mean, the whole flying system, is literally just based upon documentation. You have to have the proper documents. You can never go into a flight with somebody else's name unless you're Tobo Besta or somebody. Yeah, and that you have to go to lengths to get to those levels. But anyways, as a normal person just like you and me, you have to always have your documents ready. Get your passport in line. If you're traveling to another country, like let's say the States or something like that, you always have to know what documents you need to go into the States, what kind of a visa you need. And those things are so important because they literally turn you back at the gate. I remember the first time I tried to travel to Ireland, which was in 2016. I was in grade 10 at the time. We just gotten a ticket, and it was I think it was the June holidays, right? June holidays are like 3 weeks or something. And we were like, let's book a flight and let me visit my mom. And when I was trying to do that, unfortunately, I got there at the airport and they were telling me, you are too young to travel alone. So those things matter. There's rules and regulations on how you're supposed to travel. and especially it all matters on where you're traveling from and where you're going to. If you're traveling from as an adult, if you're traveling from South Africa to Ireland, all you basically need is proof that you're going to be able to maintain yourself when you're there. You don't need a visa, you just need your passport, proof that you're going to maintain yourself when you're there, proof of accommodation, and that's it. Now when you're traveling to other countries like France, you need a visa for that. You're traveling to France, what kind of a visa do you need? Get a Schengen visa, and the Schengen visa allows you to travel to many countries also. And I have a Schengen visa which is going to allow me to travel to like 27 other countries other than France, because I applied for mine at the French embassy. So there's 27 countries where you can get the Schengen visa. So the Schengen is actually a territory out here in Europe whereby these countries, all of them have this agreement that if you have a visa from one of their countries, you can travel to 27 others, 26 others, which is a great deal. So I have this Schengen visa. The reason that I'm telling you guys about the Schengen visa is that when I was buying my ticket to go to Warsaw, with my mom, I got this really cool deal. You know what I'm saying? I got this cool deal. Went online to trip.com, memorized that it might save your life in the future. Trip.com. I went to trip.com and I was looking for flights, to go from Dublin in Ireland to Warsaw in Poland. And I got those flights, and that trip is basically, if I was to take a direct flight from Dublin to Warsaw, I think it's going to take me plus minus 7-8 hours, which is not bad. And then I get this ticket which says the flight is going to be 30 hours. And I'm like, what? And it's super cheap. When I look at it, it's super cheap. I'm like, why? And then I check it out, and then it actually has 2 stops. So the flight is going to go from here in Dublin to Billund in Denmark. And then from Denmark, it's going to go to Rome in Italy. Wait, is it Rome? I think it's Rome. Yeah. Then it's going to go to Rome in Italy for like 16 hours. I have 2 stops basically. I have a 6-hour stop in Billund in Denmark, which means I get to spend the whole day in Denmark. And Denmark is part of the Schengen states where I actually have a visa for. And then I go to Italy where I actually have a visa for too, which means I don't have to just be locked in the airport. As soon as I get there, I'm taking my bag, I'm going to see Italy. I'm not playing around. So yeah, that's actually great. Another thing that you always have to take into account when you are traveling is your luggage. You have to know where you're going, why you're going there, and what exactly are you going to need. Because let me tell you something, when you're traveling and you have extra luggage, it's gonna cost you. Sometimes not even with money, like things get lost along the way. You get heavy, you're carrying heavy stuff around that you don't necessarily need maybe. So if you're going for 5 days, why pack a suitcase? It doesn't make sense. Just pack a backpack, 2-3 nyana outfits. You're gonna swap and change, you wear the same trouser for 2 days and change t-shirts the whole time. You know the story. You can always play around with those clothes like that. So luggage. And also another thing, they actually charge for luggage, so when you're traveling, you gotta make sure that you know exactly how much luggage you need, because sometimes you have to pay for that luggage, right? So like for an example, let me tell you guys a story. I was traveling from East London to Joburg, right? And I told myself, got a ticket, got in a taxi, pulled out this big suitcase, super huge suitcase. I get to the airport and I was probably like, I was early actually. Early for me is like maybe like 30 minutes in, 30 minutes before the flight leaves. So I was that early, and then I get there and I'm trying to check in, Here's my name, give them my ID, and they like, okay, you didn't pay for a suitcase. I'm like, how much is that gonna be? They're like, maybe 700 rand. I'm like, what? That is just not in the picture. They're like, this luggage is too big, like this is how much we're charging you for this. And at the time I didn't actually have the money for it, I only had money enough for me to get to Joburg, take a taxi home. That's the amount of money I had. And now they're telling me that I have to pay so much for just luggage. That's crazy. so I couldn't actually go with the suitcase, and I was so frustrated. I was, running out of options until this one security guy helps me out. He's like, yo, I actually live around here and I also work here. I could keep your luggage for you if you like. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. His name is Komani in East London Airport. I hope he still works there. If you guys see him, do give him a shout out, and tell him to come watch me here because I mentioned his name. Yeah, so he kept my clothes, and in order for me to go to the plane, and because obviously I'm gonna need clothes when I'm in Joburg, right? And these clothes are in the suitcase, so I single out the clothes that I'm gonna need, and I didn't have anything else to carry with, I didn't even have a backpack with me, so I had to put these clothes in a bin bag. Imagine going on a flight, you're wearing all nice, you're smelling like Farayano Gami or some stuff like that, but then now you gotta go with the bin bag, going into the flight with the bin bag like that. That was so embarrassing. But anyways, now that just says to the importance of how you should know how much luggage that you need whenever you're traveling, and it's very important. And to actually tell the fact, I didn't need all those clothes. All I needed was probably this much, and I took the whole suitcase with me because I was used to traveling like that. Used to just getting on the bus, putting my bag in, and nobody says anything, and that was great. But now this was different. Another thing I want to get you guys into is that whenever you are going somewhere far, always remember to have something to entertain you. Whether it's on your phone, if you're a reader, carry a book, because in these destinations, wherever you're going, there's the time between the start of the journey and the end of the journey, there's that period of just nothing doing, where you're doing essentially nothing. You're just waiting to get there, and that could be really boring. You can't be watching the window the whole time. Imagine you don't have music. Let's say you're in a bus, right? And it's going really far. It's like a 2-hour bus, and you're going there, and you don't have music, you don't have anything on your phone, you can't sleep because you're not sleepy. You've been sleeping the past 3 hours, or how many ever hours you've been sleeping, but you're bored now. What do you do? So it helps for you to always, always have a power bank to charge your phone, always have entertainment in your phone, music, a game maybe would help. Me reading books if you are a reader, movies, especially movies. I love movies, so I always have something downloaded on Netflix. Somebody taught me this, actually downloading stuff on your Netflix and watching it later, which is pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. So yeah, always have those options available for you when you travel. And then now we will get to the part where you actually get a place to where you're going. Wherever you're going, if it's actually a vacation, you have to book place to live. And my advice to you guys is just one app, Airbnb. They're not really paying me or anything to do this. I literally have 6 views on this 6 views on this page. They're not paying me or anything, but it is a great app. I was first introduced to Airbnb in my matric year, right? My mom came to visit me when I was finishing my matric year, and she came through there, and she booked this amazing place, and I was wondering how much would it be to book this place. And when she told me the price, I really flipped out because it was really under the rates of normal, booking hotels, and it was hotel class. You get there, there's Wi-Fi, there's really beautiful rooms. You always get the best deals out of Airbnb. So if you don't know that app, please go on your phone, download it now. You will thank me later because that is such a great app to have. Yeah, and then with that being said, guys, I think that's pretty it.